YouTube family. So, tonight, as you can see here, I've got a bunch of water cups and stuff in this cage. There's a problem here, not sure what's going on. But what I've got to do is I've got to get these girls out of this cage and get them in that cage so I can fix that one. But to do that, I've got to integrate the coveys. So what I have here is a tub with a screen top, and it's full of sand. So what I'll do is I'll take the girls from the new group, put them in the tub of sand, followed by I'll put the girls from the existing covey in the sand, let them all play and learn to get along, and then I'll put them all back up in the cage. Hang tight, like, share, subscribe. We'll start moving these girls. Alright, so I put 6 girls in there. That's just a little less than half the cage. Now I've got to get some girls, I'm not going to put all of them, but some of the girls out of the top there and put in that cage. They're in that bucket, so everybody can learn to get along, and once they all smell like each other, then the girls in the top of that won't attack the new kids. I'm going to try and stand you so you can see. That's better. Slide this tub over there. Grab my step stool. So I got 4 of those girls, and I'll leave them in this tub for about 15 minutes. Then I'll put everybody back up in the top, grab some more kids out of the Winola cage, and do it all over again. This process takes a little bit of time, but when you do it correctly, sorry about the camera focus, hang with me. There we go. Whenever that's done correctly, all of these girls will get along when you put them back in their big pen. So they'll start playing around in that sand, and once they start doing that, I'll show you. starting to scratch around, starting to peck at it, starting to fluff in it. That's what we were looking for. Alright folks, so it's been about 15 minutes or so. The quail are playing around in the sand. They're not messing with each other. They're not creating hate and discontent amongst the troops. So we're going to put them back up at the top of that cage right yonder. And I'm going to get another group out and get them ready to go. Alright, so I got them out. They're up. I've got one gal right here, and she is not doing well. She's one of our oldest girls. She's actually started to go downhill quite a little bit. I can feel her breastbone. She hasn't been eating, so I think it's going to be time to just put that old girl down. She stopped thriving, and you know, I've always said that they get to live on the farm until they're no longer thriving, as in, even if they stop laying eggs, as long as they're healthy, they get to stay here. Problem with this one is she's stopped eating. She's pretty well stopped drinking. She's starting to go downhill at a rapid pace. Here lately, we've had a lot of our older girls that have started to die off, and we're talking, these quail are about 2.5 years old, the oldest ones. I've got a boy over here that's knocking on the door of 3, but he doesn't live such a hard life. He's got it pretty easy right now. So I'll probably have to wind up putting that girl down just because it's the merciful thing to do. Now I've got some others over here that I'm going to toss in that bucket and let them play around with some kids in the middle of the big cage. Hello, ladies. Look at her. She's one of our younger girls. Alright, 6 of those. Now we'll grab a few out of the center. You're boy. How'd you get in there? Look at this guy. Look at that rusted chest. This is a boy. I don't know. That's a hen. See the difference? Yeah, she's got a speckled chest. Let's get this camera to focus here. And it won't focus. But this girl has a speckled chest. That's what's known as feather sexable. Alright, we'll let them chill and we'll come back to them. Alright guys, so I got my bottom girls done. Over here in this Winola cage is only the boy that we discovered out of that middle cage. But I wanted to show you something. This frazzled old guy right here, that's Harvey. Harvey is actually a Celadon male, and he is getting ready to knock on the door at 3 years old. He lives over here. He lives in the bachelor pad with the other guys, but I've got to move one of these or two of these boys out, and him will all go up the hill very shortly to my aviary that I have for them. We've still got a small cache of pheasant in here in the quail barn. We got the last hatch of our pheasant chicks. Anywho, that's this program. If you mix your covey, introducing new birds into a sand bath, a dust bath, if you throw some DE, that's diatomaceous earth, you can put that in the sand. The birds will flop around in it, they'll play in it, they'll eat some sand. It's actually good for their crawl. It won't hurt anything. It'll keep them from getting impacted crop or sour crop. So toss them in there when you're integrating birds. You can toss them in there. Give them 15 or 20 minutes. They'll all learn to get along, and then you can put them all back in with the rest of the group. And normally, I have never had a problem with it. Normally, nobody picks on anybody else, and everybody just gets along. Pheasant are not that way. They'll pick on everybody. They're still really wild. Caturnix quail have almost had all the wild bred out of them. So once you do that once or twice, and you have a good breeding program, your breeding program gets rid of aggression and that type stuff. You only breed the most mild-mannered or whatnot, and it does work. Integrating them the way that I showed you, I've never had a problem with it. A lot of people have a lot of different ways. I've heard you can spray down the aviary with a 50-50 mix of vinegar and water, and it takes the smell out. I've heard if you've got an aviary, you can rearrange the toys in that aviary and spray it down. I've heard that works really well. This, with the sand bath and the mixing of coveys, that's what I do, and I've never had a problem with it. So it's getting late. I'm gonna head in the house. Like, share, subscribe, and we do appreciate you.